What's going on, everybody? King Majin here, bringing you another Xenoverse 2 video. And for today's video, I thought we would test out every single counter attack in the game. Yes, you heard me correctly. We will also be testing on reverse Mabu Senku because it's still an ultimate attack, but for the most part, we're going to be testing super attacks. And today we're going to be fighting Krillin just because he has a strike-based attack as well as a ki-based attack, Kamehameha and a Orin combo. So let's get right into it. And this is actually something I've been kind of wanting to do for a while now. There's a lot of skills nowadays in Xenoverse 2 that are similar to one another, so we're going to find out which one is the best. And we'll start with these counter attacks. So for ki-based users, we've got Godbreaker, we have Change the Future, as well as the brand new attack, Sudden Death Beam. That's the real reason why I wanted to do this video. And we also got Reverse Mabu Senku, but that's an ultimate. So for the first skill, why don't we test out Godbreaker? You can see it right here off to the left. It has a little bit of a long delay, which actually could be a problem if you're fighting fast fighters. Like, I know a lot of female fighters are really fast, and that could be a problem. So let's see if it counters against ki-based attacks, and it does not. Yeah, this doesn't work against ki-based attacks. So let's change Krillin's attack to Orin combo. This one's always kind of hard to see. Oh wow, I got one more in them. And yes, it does block against strike-based users. However, if your enemy somehow manages to gain some distance on you before you use it, it'll just be a waste. But it does a lot of damage. I believe this one does more damage than any of the other ones. Than any of the other ki-based attacks, and it also blocks against basic attacks, as you can see here. That's one thing I really like about it, because more often than not, your enemy will try to get you in some basic attack combos. Oh wow, I forgot to turn it to easy, Krillin. So, Godbreaker is a really good skill to use because almost everybody, well, not almost everybody, every single fighter in Xenoverse 2 uses basic attacks in their fights. I mean, that's how you win a fight. So Godbreaker is really good for that. So for the next skill, we will be testing Change the Future. It has a little bit of a shorter delay, which is good. It just means you have a better chance to escape if, say, your counterattack fails and your opponent went into the kill. And yes, Change the Future does counter Ki Blast. It looks like it does the same amount of damage as Godbreaker. So I would say that Change the Future is basically the same as Godbreaker, except it only works against Ki Blast. You can see right here, it doesn't work against strike moves whatsoever. Nope. So if your opponent is someone who uses a lot of Ki Blast, like somebody that uses more Ki Blast than basic attacks, let me know when you find that opponent, then I would definitely say use the Godbreaker would be better. You can see right there, it doesn't block against basic attacks either. However, it is faster and it gives you a better chance to escape, but that's only if, the only time you'll ever even use a skill like this is if your opponent is a Ki Blast spammer, and they just shoot Ki Blast from far away non-stop. So I would say to avoid using this skill if at all possible, just because more opponents are going to be using basic attacks and strikes than they will Ki Blast. I would say Ki Blasters are more common in Xenoverse 2 than strikers. However, everybody relies on basic attacks. I mean, that's just the game of fighting. You need to be able to use basic attacks, and Godbreaker can counter those. So of the skills we've tried out so far, I would definitely say Godbreaker is the best one, but we've only tried 2 attacks. So the next skill we will be talking about is the all-new Sudden Death Beam, and this move actually looks really badass. This is the one, I think Goku Black only used this one time against his fight with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. It was really badass. And look at that. Look how fast that was. Krillin couldn't even avoid it. He was just starting his Kamehameha whenever it attacked him. And even if this attack misses, you still teleport behind your opponent. Already this is looking like a better skill. It doesn't look like it does as much damage, but we can see right here it counters Ki Blast. So that's a really good thing. There's a lot of key blasters in Xenoverse 2. Let's see how well this works against strikes. Oh wow, I missed, but it teleported me behind Krillin, so I was still safe. Even if this counter misses, it's fast, and you're able to... Oh, I was a little slow there. You're still able to avoid. I'm trying to get Krillin to hit this. It's kind of hard to predict when he uses that orange combo. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Okay, 2 Mississippi. 1, 2. Okay, let me try this one more time. I'm trying to get Krillin to use orange combo. I should have probably just picked Goku to use Super God Fist. That's easy to see coming. And now. Yes, it counters against strikes too. Nice. Oh, there's 2. It looks like this attack is kind of like pressure sign. It can ward off any attack. This is already looking like the best skill so far. It's fast, and it counters basic attacks. Yes! It counters basic attacks, it counters strike attacks, it counters key attacks. It's fast. Even if it misses, you can teleport behind your opponent. Guys, this is the best counter attack by far. It is fast, it only uses 1 bar of key. It looks really badass, and even if it misses, you teleport behind your opponent so you can get your opponent into any combo that you want. So definitely go out there and get this sudden death beam. This is a really great skill. I may never use God Breaker again. Even though it does less damage, it's still better because you're going to find a lot of opponents in Xenoverse that are just so freaking fast, especially the female characters. They are all like these really fast speed fighters. They're always alert. It's kind of hard to catch them, but well, once you do catch them, it's pretty much over. But they're just hard people to catch. So sudden death beam would definitely be a great skill for people like that because it's just so fast. There's a lot of female fighters that will basically break you if you try to use something as slow as God Breaker or I think reverse Maba Senku can be slow, has an aftermath that's kind of slow. And look, even though I missed, I teleport right behind Krillin. I could have broke his stamina just now. In fact, why don't we try something out? I'm gonna try something a little special with this one. We're gonna have Krillin use an ultimate attack. Oh wow, he still had 1 last Kamehameha. Watch this. Look at that. I teleported behind Krillin. I could have done anything I wanted to him. So let's try this one more time. This time I'm going to break him. Look at that. Just instantaneously broken, and he receives 10,000 damage. See how fast that just was? That is one thing I really like about this new sudden death beam. It's just so fast. A great skill to get. I believe you can get this at the TT Metal Shop. So we're going to try out this last skill, Reverse Maba Senku. It's been out since the open beta way back in the beginning. I believe you can get this just from going to the skill shop. This was really popular in the early days of Xenoverse 2. Okay, so let's go gold just to increase the amount of damage it does. Oh wow, I forgot to turn that off. Oh wait, I should just leave it on. I should actually just leave it on because I'm about to go with this new skill anyway. Now, the skill does do a lot of damage. Let's see right here. See that we did 9,400 damage. So, that's not bad. And it does actually, I believe this one counters all types of attacks. Yep. It counters key attacks, it counters strike attacks, so it only makes sense if it countered off basic attacks as well. However, the problem with this skill is it's only close range. Whereas, like, sudden death beam will just take you right behind your opponent. You can see right there, it works against basic attacks. So this is actually a really good skill, don't get me wrong. However, if you use this skill, know that you can only use it in close combat, nothing else. This is really good if you get triple teamed by a lot of people, and you just want a quick attack to finish one of them off completely so you can focus on the other opponent. So this is a skill that I use for my, I have a build that I made for opponents that like to double team you. This is a really good skill for that. It's good to have one preset set aside if you ever find opponents that do like to double team you. However, Sudden Death Beam is still the better skill. I would honestly say Sudden Death Beam is better than Reverse Mob Senku by far. It only uses 1 bar of ki, and it's fast, you can track your opponent. It's just a great skill. So for this last part of the video, I will be testing the strike-based counterattacks. I know there's a lot of strikers in Xenoverse 2, so if you're a striker, we're going to look at what skills might be best. And try these skills out for yourself to see which one you like the most. It looks, wow, these are actually a lot cooler than the Ki Blast based ones. Yeah, look how badass this looks. So you're just waving on your opponent, just try it. Try something. I believe that one's Vegito's attack. And yeah, this is Super God Shock Flash. Right here, that's the one Super Saiyan Blue Goku used against Frieza, I believe. And this one is Hits. You can actually get Flash Fist Cutter by wishing it. Just collect the Dragon Balls, tell Shenron you want a new super attack, and he'll give it to you. So the first skill I'm going to be testing out is Burst Rush. This is a little bit more of a popular skill than some of the other counterattacks I've seen so far. And it looks like it doesn't counter against Ki Blast already, so let's see how well it does against a strike-based attack. Alright. Oh! Wow. Wasn't even paying attention. Gotta be alert whenever they do that, especially with Orin combo, because Krillin's arms are so short, like I can barely tell whenever he starts a combo. Oh wow. Yeah, this already looks like a pretty good skill, and based off what that damage is, I would say this does about as much damage for strikers as Godbreaker does for Ki Blaster. So this is basically the Godbreaker for strikers. Let's just test this thing out. If it counters basic attacks, which it does, this is basically the same thing as Godbreaker, but it's for strikers. So that's actually a really good skill, and I think this skill might even be better than Godbreaker because it has that follow-up. So even after you counter your opponent's attack, you can get him into whatever combo you want because he's standing there on the floor right in front of you. So already that skill is, the Burst Rush is already better than Godbreaker. So let's try this is Super God Shock Flash on the title. And it does not counter Ki Blast. Oh wow. Oh. Messed me up with that Kamehameha. Stop doing that, Krillin. Whenever I switch the thing, you always use one last Kamehameha on me. Yeah, this skill looks a little hard to use because it's just so fast and it ends fast. Okay. It looks cool, but it does no damage at all. Look at that, only 900 damage. Probably the worst counter attack in the game by far. This does no damage. It just sucks. It doesn't counter Ki Blast, which that would be okay. Burst Rush doesn't counter Ki Blast either, but it just does no damage. It's kind of like, wow, look at that. That's bloody counter for you. So for the next skill, I'm going to be testing out Bloody Counter. I should point out right now that this is not a counter attack, even though it says it is. I just want to try something out. This actually uses 3 bars of stamina, and if you keep holding X, then it'll just keep doing it. It'll use up all of your ki, so this is kind of like Meteor Crash. It's what this is kind of like. It's like Justice Rush Meteor Crash. But I'm gonna try out something. I want to see how long I can keep this up for. Let's get started. I like how he does all these one roundhouse kicks in his combos. Pretty badass. And look at that! Look at Krillin's health! He's already half dead! Holy crap, we're about to kill Krillin with one evasive move. Remember, Krillin, What doesn't kill you makes you more jealous, but what does kill you only makes me stronger. Die. 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 Die, 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 die. Okay. By some great miracle, we managed to finish off Krillin. Whew. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you one-up Krillin. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I sat there for about 20 minutes just beating the living crap out of Krillin. I just got way too carried away. Originally, this video was about 50 minutes long. I just had 20 straight minutes of me just beating the shit out of Krillin. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Back to the video. Wow, yeah, I forgot I was making a video. Okay, so next we will be trying out Hits Flash Fist Crush. Yeah, it looks like this is one of those close range only attacks. Let's see how much damage it does. Actually, not very much damage at all. I'd say this does about as much damage as Instant Death Beam does for Ki Blasters, except this is Flash Fist Cutter for Strikers. Yeah, honestly, the damage value, as well as it having to be only close range, probably means it's not worth it. Although it does counter strikes as well. It looks like it counters off any attacks. Oh man, Krillin, didn't you learn your lesson last time? Krillin just never learns his lesson. He doesn't realize that for every defeat, he just makes me get stronger. That's a great thing about being a Frieza race. Oh, damn it, I'm getting sidetracked again. I keep doing this. I keep getting sidetracked, beating the crap out of Krillin. Krillin's face is just so, you know, punchable and kickable in this case. I wonder why they called it Bloody Counter, anyway. Okay, so anyway, that's Flash Fist Crush for you. I would not recommend using this, honestly. It's good that it counters off any attack, but it's just close range and no damage makes it almost not even worth it. So for the next skill, we got Pressure Sign. And it looks like it wards off Kamehameha waves pretty well. And I like how you can teleport right behind your opponent, so this one is more like Instant Death Beam. This one right here is the strike version of Instant Death Beam. However, the one problem with this is that it's actually kind of slow. I'll show you here in a minute. Although it is good because it does counter off strike supers as well. God damn it, Krillin. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. There we go. So it still doesn't do that much damage, and about as much damage as Instant Death Beam does, again. The one problem with it though is, look right there, you see even the calm characters are able to avoid my Pressure Sign, and that is not good. If the comms can avoid your attacks, then other players, more specifically the experts that play Xenoverse 2, can easily dodge or even perfect block your Pressure Sign attacks. So that is why I would not recommend bringing Pressure Sign into online battles, just because your opponents will see it coming if they have any Xenoverse 2 experience whatsoever. Although it does look pretty cool. It's kind of like a taunt in a way. So with that said, let's move on to the top 3 strike counterattacks. Burst Rush has earned first place for strike-based counterattacks. Just because it does a lot of damage, it has that follow-up, so you can get your opponent into even more combos. And even if you miss, like even if you're not able to counter your opponent's attack, it's fast, so you can step dash away if your opponent tries to attack you afterward. And in second place, I would say Pressure Sign. I still do not recommend Pressure Sign. I would honestly say use Goku Black's Instant Death Beam. rather than Pressure Sign, just because Pressure Sign is so slow when it comes to the actual attack part, and almost any Xenoverse 2 opponent with skill can avoid you. Look at this, I can't even counterattack his ultimate attacks because of how they are with... Whenever I use Instant Death Beam earlier, I could just teleport behind Krillin and break his stamina. Third place, I would say Flash Fist Cutter, just because it can counter any attacks. I highly recommend you do not use it. Honestly, I wouldn't use Super God, Shock Flash, or Flash Fist Cutter in any battle whatsoever, just because they do no damage, they only work with close range, and they're just not that effective, honestly. For the top 5 spots of counterattacks in Xenoverse 2, number 5, I'm going to say Change the Future. Number 4, Reverse Mabu Senku. Number 3, Godbreaker. Number 2, Burst Rush, and the number 1 spot is just an obvious choice. It's miles above all of the other counters, Instant Death Beam. So if you don't have Instant Death Beam, save up 170 TP medals and definitely get it this next weekend. Look at this right here. A move that uses instant transmission. If you get attacked, you have a chance to move. You will slip behind your opponent and retaliate with a Keep Wave. Honestly, this actually does do pretty good damage for what it is. It's only 1 bar of ki. It's fast, it teleports behind your opponent even if it misses, and opponents cannot avoid this as easy as they can some of the other attacks. Like, opponents can dodge Godbreaker. I've seen opponents dodge pretty much all of the other attacks. Instant Death Beam is definitely a fast one. You can get it right here at the TP Medal Shop, 170 medals. I believe you do have to be logged into the online room. I had only one choice last week, and it was either Black Kamehameha or Sudden Death Beam, and I'm definitely happy I went with Sudden Death Beam. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer you back as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.